Have you ever wondered why the most extraordinary moments of our lives often happen when we step outside our comfort zone? When we let go of control, detach from predictable outcomes, and surrender to the unknown, we open the door to infinite possibilities. You see, most people live their lives repeating the same patterns, thinking the same thoughts, and expecting a different result. But life doesn't work that way. True transformation only happens when we embrace uncertainty and allow ourselves to venture into the unfamiliar. And when we talk about embracing uncertainty as a gateway to growth, we're stepping into one of the most profound and transformative principles of personal evolution. The unknown is often viewed as something to fear, something to avoid, something that brings discomfort and anxiety. Yeah, but what if I told you that the unknown isn't your enemy? What if I told you that within the vast space of uncertainty lies every single possibility you've ever dreamed of? You see, the brain is wired to seek safety, predictability, and patterns. It wants to know what happens next. It wants to anticipate outcomes, prepare for scenarios, and minimize risks. But here's the catch: everything extraordinary, everything groundbreaking, everything life changing exists outside the realm of what you already know. Growth is not found in repeating yesterday's habits, yesterday's thoughts, or yesterday's patterns. Growth begins the moment you step into the space where you don't have all the answers. You break this down scientifically. Your brain creates neural pathways based on repeated experiences and thoughts. These pathways are like highways, well trodden, familiar, and easy to travel. Well, but every day you follow the same patterns, the same behaviors, and the same thought loops, you strengthen those neural connections. Now, if you want to create change, if you want growth, you have to step off that highway and forge a new path. That's where the unknown comes in. The unknown isn't just a metaphor, it's a neurological reality. When you willingly step into unfamiliar territory, when you embrace uncertainty, your brain starts to form new connections. This is called neuroplasticity. It's your brain's ability to rewire itself, adapt, and grow. And it only happens when you stop clinging to what feels safe and predictable. But here's the challenge: the unknown triggers fear. Fear is a survival mechanism. It's your body and brain's way of keeping you out of danger. Historically, fear kept our ancestors alive. It kept them away from predators. It signaled them to seek shelter, and it made them cautious. But in today's world, fear often prevents us from reaching our fullest potential. Fear keeps you in jobs you hate, relationships that drain you, and mindsets that limit you. Fear whispers in your ear, what if you fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if you lose everything? And so you retreat, you step back into the familiar, even if the familiar doesn't serve you. But what happens if you decide to see fear differently? What if instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, you see it as a doorway? What if fear isn't the signal to turn around, but the signal to step forward with courage? The truth is, fear and growth are two sides of the same coin. You cannot grow without feeling some level of fear, because growth requires you to move into the unknown. But here's the secret: fear loses its grip when you face it head on. When you take one step, just one step into the unfamiliar, something incredible happens. Your brain starts to realize, I survived. I'm okay. I can do this. And with every step you take, fear diminishes and confidence grows. And now, let's talk about energy. Everything in this universe, including you, is made up of energy. Your thoughts carry energy. Your emotions carry energy. And every time you cling to fear, you lower your energetic state. And you move into survival mode. Your body becomes tense, your mind becomes chaotic, and your creativity shuts down. But when you embrace the unknown, when you step into it with curiosity instead of fear, your energy shifts. Your body relaxes, your mind opens, and suddenly you become receptive to new opportunities, ideas, and experiences. This is why embracing uncertainty is so powerful. It's not just about facing external challenges, it's about transforming your internal world. It's about rewiring your brain, elevating your energy, and creating a mindset that thrives in the face of the unknown. And here's the thing, the more you practice stepping into uncertainty, the better you become at it. It's like building a muscle. At first, it feels awkward, uncomfortable, and even painful. But with time, with consistency, and with courage, it becomes second nature. You start to crave growth. You start to seek out the unknown, not because it's easy, but because you know it's where your true potential lies. When you truly embrace uncertainty, you're no longer a prisoner of your fears. You're no longer shackled by the need for control. You become free, free to explore, free to dream, free to grow. You start to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as setups for comebacks. You start to trust yourself, trust life, and trust the process. And that's when magic happens. That's when you stop living from a place of fear and start living from a place of possibility. But living a life of purpose is one of the most profound, fulfilling experiences a person can have, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. Many people go through life waiting for purpose to show up like a lightning bolt, expecting it to arrive fully formed and crystal clear. But the reality is, purpose doesn't usually come as a grand revelation. It's not a loud announcement or a single defining moment. Instead, purpose is something that is cultivated over time, discovered through self awareness, and nurtured through consistent action. It's not always about finding some world changing mission or a dramatic calling sometimes. It's simply about showing up fully in your own life with presence, intention, and authenticity. And when we talk about purpose, we must also talk about awareness. Without awareness, it's nearly impossible to live a life of meaning. Awareness is the foundation, it's the key that unlocks the door to your potential. But awareness isn't just about knowing what's happening outside of you, it's about deeply understanding what's happening within you. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Are your actions aligned with your values? Are you living in a way that feels true to who you are, or are you simply following someone else's script? These are questions that require courage to answer because they force you to confront the truth about your life. But the beautiful thing about awareness is that once you have it, you can't unsee it. Once you become aware of the gap between where you are and where you want to be, you start to feel an internal push or calling to bridge that gap. Purpose isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you create. And the process of creating purpose starts with clarity. You need to get clear on what matters to you, what brings you joy, what fills you with energy. What would you do even if you weren't getting paid for it? These aren't small questions, they're the foundation of a purposeful life. But clarity doesn't always come easily. It requires you to sit in stillness, to listen to your inner voice, and to tune out the noise of the world around you. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, opinions, and external pressures. Social media tells us how we should look, society tells us how we should act, and our families tell us who we should become. But purpose doesn't come from following someone else's blueprint. It comes from having the courage to design your own. Another key aspect of purpose is contribution. A life of purpose is rarely, if ever, self centered. It's about giving something of yourself to the world, your time, your energy, your creativity, your love. Each contribution doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as making someone smile, offering a helping hand, or sharing your knowledge with others. The act of contributing to something larger than yourself creates a deep sense of fulfillment because it connects you to a cause beyond your personal concerns. It shifts your focus from what you can get to what you can give. And in that shift, you often find the most meaningful rewards. But living a life of purpose also requires resilience. The path isn't always smooth. And the journey isn't always easy. There will be moments of doubt, failure, and disappointment. You will face obstacles, setbacks, and challenges that test your commitment. But resilience is what keeps you going when things get tough. It's the ability to get back up, even when you've been knocked down. It's the willingness to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. And here's the truth: the challenges you face are often the very things that shape your purpose. They force you to grow, to adapt, and to become stronger. Every setback holds a lesson, and every failure holds an opportunity, but you have to be willing to see it. Purpose also requires alignment. Your actions, your words, and your thoughts must align with your values and your vision. When you're out of alignment, you can feel it. It shows up as exhaustion, frustration, and a nagging sense that something isn't right. But when you're in alignment, everything flows. You wake up with energy, you face challenges with courage, and you go to bed with a sense of fulfillment. Alignment doesn't mean everything is perfect, it means everything is intentional. It means you're showing up for your life fully and authentically every single day. And finally, living a life of purpose requires trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the unknown. There will be moments when the path ahead is unclear, when fear and doubt creep in, and when you question whether you're on the right track. But purpose isn't about having all the answers, it's about having the courage to keep moving forward, even when the answers aren't clear. It's about listening to that inner voice, that quiet whisper that tells you to keep going, to keep showing up, to keep believing. Living a life of purpose isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's a daily practice, a conscious choice, and a commitment to something greater than yourself. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about showing up day after day with intention, with courage, and with love. Because when you live with purpose, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. And that in itself is the greatest gift you can give to the world. Living a life of purpose requires us to step into the unknown with courage, curiosity, and an open heart. The unknown is where all possibilities exist, where potential meets opportunity, and where transformation becomes not just a possibility, but a reality. But stepping into the unknown is one of the most challenging things we can do because it requires us to let go of certainty, control, and the illusion of safety. Our brains are wired to seek patterns, predictability, and familiarity. These things give us a sense of security, even if they are limiting us from experiencing growth. The idea of walking into unfamiliar territory, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, or a new mindset, triggers fear and doubt because the outcome isn't guaranteed. However, it is precisely in those moments of uncertainty that we have the greatest opportunity to grow, evolve, and create something extraordinary. When we talk about embracing the unknown, we're not just talking about external changes in our lives. We're also talking about the internal journey, the willingness to question our thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns. Many of us live on autopilot, repeating the same routines, engaging in the same conversations, and thinking the same thoughts day after day. These patterns create a sense of predictability, but they also keep us stuck in the same cycles. To embrace the unknown means breaking free from those cycles. It means being willing to ask ourselves difficult questions. Why do I react this way? Why do I keep attracting the same experiences? What fears are holding me back? These questions aren't always comfortable, but they are necessary if we want to step into a new version of ourselves. Um, One of the most important things to understand about embracing the unknown is that it requires trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in the process, and trust in something greater than ourselves. Trust doesn't mean having all the answers, it means being willing to take the next step, even when the entire path isn't clear. It's about learning to listen to our intuition, that inner voice that speaks to us in moments of stillness. Intuition doesn't shout, it whispers. And if we're constantly distracted by noise, chaos, and external validation, we won't hear it. That's why stillness is so essential in this process. Taking time to be alone with our thoughts, to breathe deeply, to meditate, or simply to sit in silence can create space for clarity and insight to emerge. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles when it comes to embracing the unknown. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong choice. These fears can be paralyzing. But fear isn't inherently bad. It's a natural response designed to protect us. The problem arises when we let fear make our decisions for us. When we allow fear to control our actions, we stay small, we stay safe, and we stay stuck. And the key is to acknowledge the fear, feel it fully, and then move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. Every time we take a step into the unknown despite our fear, we build resilience, we build confidence, and we build trust in ourselves. Another powerful aspect of embracing the unknown is the willingness to let go of outcomes. Many of us are attached to specific results. We want things to turn out a certain way, and we become frustrated or disappointed when they don't. But attachment to outcomes creates suffering because it keeps us stuck in expectations rather than allowing us to flow with life. When we release our grip on how things should be and instead focus on showing up fully in the present moment, we open ourselves up to infinite possibilities. Sometimes the best opportunities, the most meaningful connections, and the most profound growth come from unexpected places. But we can only access those experiences if we're willing to let go of control. Living in the unknown also requires us to embrace change. Change is uncomfortable because it disrupts our sense of familiarity. But change is also the gateway to transformation. If we want something different in our lives, better health, deeper relationships, more meaningful work, we have to be willing to change. And change doesn't always have to be drastic. Sometimes it's as simple as changing one thought, one habit, or one belief. The small shifts, when done consistently, can create massive results over time. But change requires commitment. It's not something we do once and forget about. It's something we practice every day. Another key component of embracing the unknown is the willingness to fail. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every failure holds a lesson, and every mistake is an opportunity to grow. But many of us are so afraid of failing that we don't even try. We let the fear of failure stop us before we even start. But here's the truth: failure isn't a reflection of your worth, it's simply feedback. It's a sign that you tried, that you took action, and that you were brave enough to step outside your comfort zone. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never failed, they're the ones who failed. They're the ones who failed repeatedly and kept going anyway. Finally, embracing the unknown means being willing to see challenges as opportunities. Life will always present us with obstacles, that's inevitable. But every obstacle carries within it a gift. Challenges force us to grow, to adapt, and to become stronger. And they teach us resilience, patience, and humility. The most powerful transformations often arise from our most difficult experiences, but we have to be willing to lean into the discomfort, to face the challenge head on, and to trust that there's something valuable waiting on the other side. The unknown isn't something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. It's the space where miracles happen, where possibilities unfold, and where we discover who we truly are. It's not always easy and it's not always comfortable, but it's always worth it. When we learn to embrace the unknown, we don't just change our lives, we change our entire experience of what it means to be alive. Embracing the unknown requires us to step into a space of vulnerability, courage, and faith and internal shift that allows us to see possibilities where others see limitations. But one of the most important factors in this journey is learning how to cultivate resilience. Resilience isn't about avoiding challenges or hardships, it's about developing the inner strength to move through them, learn from them, and grow as a result. When we talk about resilience, we're not just talking about toughness or stubbornness, we're talking about the ability to adapt, to stay grounded in the face of uncertainty, and to maintain a sense of purpose, even when the path ahead is unclear. And resilience is what allows us to remain centered when life throws us curveballs. And it's what keeps us moving forward, even when fear or doubt try to hold us back. At its core, resilience begins with self awareness. We can't build resilience if we're not aware of our emotional triggers, our limiting beliefs, and the unconscious patterns that shape our reactions. Many of us go through life reacting to circumstances without ever pausing to understand why we react the way we do. When something doesn't go our way, do we shut down? Do we lash out? Do we retreat into self pity? These responses are often deeply ingrained and come from past experiences, conditioning, and fears. But the moment we become aware of these patterns, we create space for change. Self awareness allows us to interrupt those automatic reactions and choose a different response, one that aligns with the person we want to become, rather than the habits we've been carrying for years. Another key aspect of resilience is the ability to reframe challenges. Life is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of disappointment. But how we interpret those experiences determines whether they break us or build us. When something doesn't go as planned, we have a choice. We can see it as a failure, or we can see it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better. And reframing doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending that everything is fine. It means looking at the situation with a mindset of growth and possibility. It means asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger, wiser, and more capable? Resilient people aren't immune to hardship. They simply choose to extract wisdom from every experience, no matter how difficult it might be. Equally important in cultivating resilience is developing emotional flexibility. Emotional flexibility is the ability to feel our emotions fully without being consumed by them. Many people either suppress their emotions or allow their emotions to control them. Yet neither approach leads to resilience. Suppressing emotions creates inner tension and often manifests in physical symptoms like stress, anxiety, or even illness. On the other hand, being consumed by emotions keeps us stuck in cycles of fear, anger, or sadness. But emotional flexibility means allowing ourselves to feel what we feel without judgment, but also being able to step back, observe those emotions, and respond in a way that serves us rather than sabotages us. It's about becoming the observer in our world rather than being controlled by it. Resilience is also deeply connected to our ability to maintain perspective. In moments of stress or uncertainty, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. We become hyper focused on what's going wrong and we forget that challenges are often temporary. Developing resilience means reminding ourselves that this moment, no matter how difficult, is just one chapter in a much larger story. It means trusting that in time we will find clarity, resolution, and even gratitude for the lessons learned. So perspective allows us to step back, take a breath, and remember that we've overcome challenges before and we'll overcome this one too. One of the most overlooked aspects of resilience is self-compassion. Many people believe that resilience is about being hard on themselves, pushing through pain, and never showing weakness. But true resilience is rooted in kindness towards ourselves. When we make mistakes, when we fall short, or when we face setbacks, self-compassion allows us to treat ourselves with the same care and understanding that we would offer a close friend. It means recognizing that imperfection is part of the human experience and that failure isn't a reflection of our worth. Self-compassion doesn't make us weak, it makes us stronger because it allows us to recover faster, learn from our experiences, and keep moving forward without being weighed down by shame or self criticism. Another powerful tool for building resilience is having a sense of purpose. Purpose acts as a guiding light, a North Star that keeps us anchored even in the stormiest of seas. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we're able to endure challenges with a sense of meaning. That purpose gives us a reason to keep going when things get tough, and it reminds us that our struggles aren't in vain. But purpose isn't something we stumble upon accidentally, it's something we cultivate intentionally. It comes from understanding our values, our passions, and the impact we want to have on the world. When we align our actions with our purpose, resilience becomes a natural byproduct because we know that every challenge we face is part of a larger mission. Finally, resilience requires connection. While resilience is often portrayed as an individual quality, the truth is that we are social beings and we thrive in connection with others. Building resilience isn't about facing challenges alone, it's about knowing when to ask for help, when to lean on others, and when to share our burdens. Support systems, whether they're friends, family members, mentors, or even professional counselors, play a crucial role in helping us navigate difficult times. Connection reminds us that we're not alone, that our struggles are shared, and that we have people who care about us and want to see us succeed. In the end, resilience isn't about avoiding the unknown, it's about meeting it with courage, adaptability, and a willingness to grow. It's about trusting that no matter what challenges come our way, we have the inner strength to face them, learn from them, and emerge on the other side stronger than before. Resilience isn't a trait reserved for a select few, it's a skill that can be cultivated by anyone willing to do the inner work. And when we build resilience, we don't just change the way we handle challenges, we change the way we experience life itself.